Hello YouTube model building community, Dwayne here with another update on the Showtime Studios truck build. Haven't managed to get a ton of progress, but it's slow going. But I have managed to get the frame and most of the suspension all together there, and the engine painted, but it's still got some work left to do on that. Don't have all the parts on it yet. Just got it all fit into the frame there. There's a look at the engine. Went with the tan on it. This is Model Masters enamel. I couldn't get the color that I wanted in a gloss, so I'm kind of still debating on whether or not I'm going to throw a clear coat on there or not to get it a little more shine to it. I think these were pretty shiny right out of the factory, so I don't know. It's looking good though. Like nice detail in that engine once you get it all cleaned up and looking proper. So that's the engine. That's as far as I got on the engine there. I haven't even taken the other components out of the sprue yet, so managed to get most of the frame and suspension together on it. A lot of work on the springs in particular on this kit, but there's a look at the rear axles, and even got the drive shaft spinning in there. Didn't bother gluing it in, but it's coming together. Everything's nice and square and straight, and I had to do a little bit of modification to get the rear axles in properly. The gap in here was too wide for the mount, so I made some spacers in here. I don't know if this will focus. Doesn't want to focus now. Anyhow, I had to make spacers for all of them to get those to fit in properly. I used some old sprue out of another kit that was about the same sort of diameter, or the correct diameter that I was looking for. Just cut it down and glued that in there. Also, I can show, I don't know how well you can see it. This darn thing would focus. No, it's just not going to want to focus. But I went in on the back side of the frame rail, filled in the locating holes for the springs, and I just went in there with some styrene rod and cut it down and glued it in, sanded it down. So that's rear suspension. A little bit of work, a little bit of filler had to go in on the gearbox on the rear differential. There's some serious fitment issues there. Those two halves in some spots weren't even close to lining up. So, but all in all, that actually turned out pretty good. What else we got going on here? Front suspension. Got it mounted in. Got a little bit of the steering glued in already. Again, I went in on the back side. You may be able to see this one of the frame filled in. Filled it in the locating hole where the pin for the spring mounts on there. Just a little, that's just me getting a little carried away, I guess, but yeah, had fun doing that. Let's see, what else, well, I had a lot of work to do on these springs. Like you can see in here, I went in, this was a injector pin mark here that I again filled in with some styrene and recarved the grooves in the front of the leaf, or in the side of the leaf springs, to get the detail back in there. And I had to do that on both sides of the front. The rears actually were pretty good. The injector pin marks were actually raised on the rear springs, so I just had to sand those down a little bit and recut the grooves in there as well. There, it's a lot tougher to see in on the rear. But yeah, I did that. And yeah, and that's mainly what I've been working on, is just getting that all prepped and sanded and filed and fitted and whatnot. Got all that finally together. I just glued the rear diff housings in today, and I still have to glue these mounts on the top. I haven't glued those yet, so not much to do there. And then I just gonna get the backing plates with the parking brake chambers mounted up on them, and then I'm just about ready to get the wheels on her. I got the wheels, I don't have them down here, but I got those in paint right now. Going body color on those, and I've got some other parts, just a few other things in primer, but not too much really. As far as anything else goes, really the only thing that I've actually got assembled is the tanks. I haven't cleaned these up yet, but as you can see, these actually went together really well, so there's very little work to do to get those cleaned up, so I was pretty happy with that. I started a little bit on this one, cleaning up that seam right there, and it's coming along. It's not a lot of work to get that to that stage, so I was pretty happy with that. And then the only other thing I've started on is the sleeper. So I've got all the parts kind of ready for it. Now where is it? The roof of the sleeper, I don't know if you can see it in there, but it's pretty bent. So to fix that up, what I've decided to do is I've just come along with on the front wall and the back wall, I've glued some styrene in here to give it an edge to fasten to, because with the roof of the sleeper there's nothing to locate it. It's just got plain edges on it, so I'll get that up against there, and then I can clamp it in on there, and it should straighten it out nice. There's that one, and I've got a little wider piece here. It's just kind of what I had on hand that I'm using for that, so that should straighten that roof up real nice. And the rest of the sleeper parts are all decent. They're straight, they fit nice, so once I get all that glued together, then I can get that into some primer. Really, that's pretty much where we're at. So just thought I'd do an update anyhow and let you know how far I am on it. it's a lot of work to get a little bit done. But it is what it is. I mean, these AMT kits take a lot of work, and there's a lot of parts here. I look at the box full of parts, and I don't even think I quarter the way through cutting parts off a spruce. But anyhow, that's it for now, and I'll hope to have another update here up in a week or so, and maybe have, a lot more progress. So anyhow, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next video. Thanks.